briefly mention that the mucking machine here, as well as all those drills I showed you, are pneumatic, which means they're powered by air. The reason is because you can't use gas in a hard rock mine because it has nowhere to escape to. So, the next thing I'm going to show you is actually the most important piece of equipment our miners had while they were working down here, and it is right over there, just behind our mucking machine. So gather around, get nice and close, make sure everyone can see. Don't worry, it doesn't bite. So, any ideas as to what this could have been? No? Anyone else? Not quite. No, it wasn't a beer cooler.
Washroom.
A washroom? This is actually our honey wagon.
Oh.
And these are honey buckets.
So you don't leave anything in the mine.
That's right. They didn't want to have to shovel that away too.
Yeah.
Now, this is actually the Cadillac version of honey wagons that came to you. But of course, they'd have to have someone to push that. And that job was given to the always lucky new guy. So for his first 30 days of employment here in the mine, he was pushing this around each of our miners twice in their 1 8-hour shift. There were two reasons for this. One was he got to know his way around the mines. And the second was he got to know each of our miners very well. Now, does anyone notice anything missing from the honey wagon?
Toilet paper.
That's right. There is no toilet paper for the honey wagon. That is because the mine did not supply it, and our miners didn't bring it from home, because back then it was a luxury. So instead, they'd have to read it and use it. So any old newspaper, magazines, anything like that, they're personal toiletries. The other problem with the honey... Don't worry, we do clean it out. Now, the other problem with the honey wagon is, of course, privacy, because you'd have one miner here, and then the young guy waiting for them to finish. Luckily, though, back when these mines were in operation, they didn't have any of these fancy overhead lights, and in just a second, I'm going to show you what that would have been like. Now, once I turn off our lights, if you were to look down that tunnel over there, you won't be able to see your hand in front of your face. If it does start to bother you at all, though, feel free to look down that tunnel, and there's some light coming in from our exit. There are a lot of you, and I don't want to try squeezing through, so, kind sir in the yellow hoodie, if you wouldn't mind just turning that light switch off behind you there. Perfect. Now, our miners weren't completely blind while they were working down here. They did have a few things to help them see. One of the first things they had was candle. Perfect. Candle. So if you're working down here with a candle, you'd have to go over to your miner's bullseye or your muck pile, spike the candle into the wall, and get to work. Now, of course, the mine didn't actually supply our miners with their own candles. I know, which meant you'd be doing it from home. It's usually about 3 to 4 men sharing one of these candles. Now, one of the advantages to their candles, though, was that if you felt like using the honey wagon, you want a little extra privacy, all you had to do was...
Just make sure you can find the thing first.
Well, hopefully you would wait till you were on it before you blew it out. It's, to each his own. Now, in 1919, they came out with the carbide lamp, which is this thing right here. This uses calcium carbide, which sits in the bottom, and water, which they mix into the top. When you mix these two, it creates an acetylene gas. And if we're lucky, we'll get a really nice pop.
How long would those stay on?
4 hours. So unfortunately, halfway through their shift, our miners did have to replace this. Luckily though, the carbide lamp does give off a lot better light than the candle, as you can see. Our miners are also able to clip this onto their helmets, so they were hands-free. One of the only real problems with the carbide lamp is that it is an open flame. It meant that if our miners had this on their helmets, they're actually able to see how long that flame is, which meant you wouldn't want to be inspecting that dynamite too closely.
This is terrible.
Now in 1937, our miners finally got headlamps. Now the headlamps look exactly like the one that I have on my head right now. The only difference was the battery packs. So my battery pack is about 2 pounds. And when mine shut down in '74, they were about 5 pounds. But when our miners first got their battery packs, they're carrying around 15-pound battery packs on their backs for their full 8-hour shift. One of the advantages is that it did last their full 8 hours, and all they had to do at the end of their shift was plug it in, be all charged up for the next day. So in just a second, I'm going to turn our lights back on. We'll just head outside and continue on our tour from there. So if you would be so kind, I will illuminate it for you.
Oh, please, thank you.
Perfect.
Like, wow.
Wait, so